Hi, everyone. This is Dr. Christina Rahm, and this is Under the Red Chandelier. And we have Miss Morales with us. Paloma is a beautiful actress and beautiful person, and we're going to talk to her today. So welcome to the show, and thank you for taking your time to do this.
Oh my goodness, thank you for having me. As a matter of fact, my two children, my daughter and my son, when I told them I was going to be with you, they got very nervous. I never get nervous in interviews, absolutely nothing. And even with my Ricky Ricardo accent, I don't care. And I've been here, by the way, all my life. And then they go, Mom, have you Googled her? She's a scientist. She's a formulator. What are you going to talk about? You couldn't even help us in chemistry, in algebra. They go, it's okay. We might not be, talking about algebra and chemistry in our podcast, but I'm sure it's going to be fine. They are so nervous.
We're talking about you. And honestly, it's kind of like your life. That's a small piece of me. I'm a mother too, and I am just a person. I just happen to be a scientist, but I'm here to talk about you and not me.
Oh,
so I want to start and ask questions because I was so interested. I was looking at all the things that you've done, and I look at singers and actresses and musicians. My mom's a classical pianist and cellist, and then she also was acted as well, but not as famous as you. She wasn't like on film. She actually majored in all of that. And so I think those people in the arts touch so many people's lives. And I've always felt like it's such a gift from God that you get to have this talent. And then I always believe that you're supposed to share that with the world if you have a gift.
Oh, completely. I do believe in that too. I do believe 100% in that. Whatever gift God gives you, you need to share it. It's not for you, actually.
No,
it's to share it with the world. And, during the last part, I never talked about what happened 4 years ago. I never even mentioned, what. A lot of people, I used to do parodies with songs. I used to dance in the house and blah, blah, blah. I have no idea, doctor, how many people texted me, messaged me, oh my God, I've been in bed for 3 weeks. I haven't taken a shower. And I opened Instagram, I opened Facebook, and they were you're dancing and you were laughing. Oh, Paloma, they go, what? 3 weeks in your bed and you haven't showered. Get up, do something, take the sun. And, and I continue doing that. I'm always been like that. I love dancing. I love performing. And definitely it's a gift from God. 100%.
100%.
And it's not for you, it's to share. And I noticed that lately when I do things, imitate Lucy or whatever. I love Lucy. People just love that. They just, oh my God, you crack me up. And I always tell them that's my purpose in life. Because if you laugh, that means I'm giving you good sales. So
yeah, I think that's wonderful. I love that you understand that, because I have to say, I have, with what I've done for a living, people will say things. I'm sure you get a lot more compliments than I do, but I get a lot of compliments because we're in so many countries, and I'm like, it's not my gifts, because the truth is we get these gifts, and you're so right. It's not for us. It's for us to help. And I always say we're supposed to serve and lead, and we're supposed to help people. And I love that you understand that, because I think you get so much attention, I'm sure you have in your career and through what you've done, and everyone handles that differently. So I really wanted to go back to how you got into acting and how you started and how your parents supported that. Because I'm always interested in if someone that has a gift, when they use it throughout their life, was it their family? Was it inside they had this desire and this passion, or a combination of both? And I'd love to hear from you how you got to the point to use the gifts that God gave you to be this actress and to do all these amazing things to make people happy and make people laugh. How did that get going? How did that start with you?
Well, I think I inherited that from my mother. I was like acting, and back in the 30s and 40s, back in Cuba, that's where I was born, and she was born. She was not allowed to do that, because being a star, it was like being a lady from the streets. Actually, that's what my grandparents told me. But she was always, you know, I can tell she loved that because every time she saw me doing something, you can, her sparkle in her eyes was like, wow, you know, I have a daughter that finally did what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
My father was not very much supported, and let me tell you why. Because I was born in an island, and I was born a rumbera. I don't know, you know what it is, I dancer and dancer and dancer.
Yeah.
And he was a captain from the army, very strict with us, very strict, and especially with me because I was born a little different. I love dancing. I love to be on the streets and get down, like they say over here. And he will tell me, no, a lady is not supposed to be dancing like that and moving like that. So he will give me lessons like, this is how you dance. I said, Daddy, I like to move my shoulder. Like I see the Afro-Cuban, you know? And I said, well, I was born in the wrong island, Dad. I said, no, you don't dance like that. So when I was about 8 years old, he put me in ballet. He said, you have to go to ballet. This is not what I want for my daughter to do, dancing and shaking their shoulders, shaking their booties. No, ballet. So I was there for a long time. And in ballet, Dr. Rahm, I was still doing my rumba, doing my tendu, doing my releve, and still doing my rumba. I was the entertainer because, you know, in ballet, you're not supposed to be loud. And you know, all that
I had to
stuff.
take ballet. I didn't like ballet.
Oh my goodness, many years. So in 1971, when, because he was a political prisoner, and that's another story, that's another podcast. He decided to leave the country because my brother was getting into the military age, which was, I think it was 13 to 35, which still exists. Male cannot leave Cuba between that age. So he decided to leave. My half-sister was here already, and he claimed his dad. He was already married with 3 children, so he decided to leave. So when I got here, starting high school, and right away, you know, the dance team saw my grace and my move, and they put me in dance team. And I started little by little. You know, I went to college and all that, and I always have that. Oh, I wanted to act, I wanted to dance. And the first week that we got here, we were taken by this Cuban family to a Cuban club. And they were doing a show. They were famous for doing this tremendous, tremendous show because the writer and the director was the wife of the man in Tropicana. You know, the Tropicana, the very famous nightclub in Cuba. So she used to write beautiful stories. And of course, it was all about, you know, living Cuban and all that. So I remember we went to this house and they introduced us, you know, they just got here from Cuba because back then we were very, you know, the Cuban community, which it still is, very helping each other and supportive. So they were doing the mambo. So they put my sister and I in the back, you know, because they didn't know if we could do mambo. And on the first tape, I went, and then the choreographer, okay, Paloma, that's your name? Come here in the front. So I did like all this year from the age of 15, I'm not kidding, until 18, 19. I've been in that Cuban club, which, by the way, they still call me to do things that I say, no, I'll go and support, but I'm not going to be doing no more movement, no more imitations of great artists. No, I'm done. Already retired.
I have to make an announcement that we're taking a short break. We're going to talk about DRC Ventures and Root and some of this stuff. So we'll take a 30-second break and then we'll be back on.
In a world plagued by impurities, one solution emerges from the shadows. Clean slate, the original antitoxin. Orthosilicic acid and vitamin C unite in a battle against unseen adversaries within. Clean slate is an unstoppable force against harmful toxins, wiping the slate clean. This isn't just a nutraceutical, it's a revolution. Say goodbye to the old and welcome the dawn of a new you. Clean slate. Get ready for an epic transformation.
So are you still, you're still acting, dancing, doing different things currently, correct?
Yes, I am. Actually, I just finished Queen of the Rumba, a beautiful musical play written by Josefina Lopez. She is a writer from A Real Woman Have Curves, who became a movie after. Yes.
Yeah.
It was actually, being Cuban, I did not know that women existed in my life, because she was like in the 30s. Her name was Alicia Parla, and she was a rumbera who became really famous in Europe. My story too, the father did not know anything about her, that she was, dancing up there, but her mother was very supportive of her career and tag along in Europe. One time she took a paparazzi back then, took a picture of her and Prince of Wales, came mad, that picture in the world, and the father find out. Of course, she had to come back to Cuba and all that and marry a millionaire, because that was her father wanted her to be. But anyway, it was a beautiful, and had so much fun. We had a beautiful cast, and it was just wonderful. We were there almost for a month and a half.
Wow.
And sold out. And once again, my Cuban club supported me. They all came by the hundreds, the members. And so I'm so attached to that Cuban club, because I started all my acting again, because I acted all my life. You're born with that gift.
Yeah. Yeah.
When people ask me that, when you started acting? Since I was a little girl. Ask my dad. I will answer. I always act for him not to. Dad, it's okay. I'll be fine. I'm not going to dance like that anymore. I was an actress. You're born with that gift.
Yeah, you can't get rid of that. I think that I always set people have questions for me all the time, like how I do or why I do what I do. You're just born with certain things. I think that when you get a gift, you don't have to work at it that much. You can, of course, perfect it.
Of
But it
course.
comes inside of you like I was reading a thing about how some people are born and they can speak another language and they don't understand why these children are born that can speak another language they've never been exposed to. And I don't have an explanation to that, other than I know my grandmother believed in reincarnation and my mom didn't. And I just know that for whatever reason, certain people are born with certain things. I don't know how to explain it. We just are. But you obviously have a gift and you've used it to help people. So I have to ask you, anytime I think that you've been given these gifts, and I always call them the it factor, like certain people have this it factor in certain areas or just all over. But when you have this it factor, like I have one of my kids that was born with, actually a couple of them with this it thing, that you worry even more, because the problem is, that person is going to run into a lot of obstacles as well, because anytime you've been given this gift, there's going to be challenges that you have to go through in life. So I guess my question to you is, what are your biggest challenges that you've had to basically not make you stop? Because when you reach a challenge, you either stop or you go forward, right? So what were your biggest challenges and why did you not stop? Why did you keep doing what you were meant to do?
Oh, that's a great question. And challenges for me, especially in California, it happens all the time. And especially when I'm auditioning, let's say for a commercial, for a movie, guess what's my biggest challenge? You don't look Mexican. We love your performance. I love the way you did that, but you just don't look Mexican. I said, what do you mean I don't look? Yeah, you don't look at the green eyes and you're white. I said, oh my God, go to Mexico. But see, the Latino that they want always, it's changing a little bit. It changed back in 2000. Let me tell you the story. I don't want to go back, but it happens to me all the time that I don't look Latina enough for mainstream. I actually never auditioned for mainstream Latina. I never do, because I know they're not going to get me. I know they want a Latina looking, brown eyes, a little bit dark skin, not something like me. So I usually do it in Spanish, because like Spanish, I can have a neutral accent. And as a matter of fact, when I did Queen of the Rumba, my goodness, I had to go back to my Cuban accent. And it was kind of hard for me to go back and think, because I had to have a neutral accent. So that's been one of my biggest challenges, but that stopped me? No. Because in 2000, I'm going to tell you a story of what happened. They were looking for the Albertsons lady. I went in to the first audition with Mambo Casting. I remember, I will never forget that. And we saw the storyboard A lot of people, all the actresses there were laughing. Oh my God, that looks like Lupe Ontiveros. Lupe Ontiveros, very famous Mexican actress. And she was there, she was laughing too. Oh my God, that does look like me. Well, I did it, and the lady was Doña Lupe. And I said, ooh, Doña Lupe, that's another thing against me, because I really, Doña Lupe, I don't know about that. I got a call back, because I'm the queen of callbacks, by the way. And I told my husband, I'm not going to this audition, to the callback. I'm not going to waste my time driving to Hollywood. I know. I said, why not? Because I know they're not going to give it to me. I don't look Latina. They always tell me the same thing. And the lady's called Doña Lupe. They're not going to. No, I know that. And then he reminded me that the second, because they were going to give you two commercials at the same time, that the second commercial, she had a comadre, a friend, that I said, maybe maybe they like you for the comadre, go. So I went. So I was put on a veil. I was very excited. And when I booked it, I said, oh my God, I couldn't sleep that night, Dr. And guess why? Because I was thinking, people are going to say, Doña Lupe, she doesn't look like Doña Lupe. I don't know, maybe they're going to put a dark wig, because back then I was, lighter, my hair was lighter. And they called me the next day. Oh, the agency wants to know if they could call you Doña Paloma. I said, praise the Lord. Yes, they can call me whatever, Doña Maria, Doña. But after a while, I found out that they had to do a focus group. You know what that is?
Yeah.
And they put my Lupe Ontiveros, which, she's in heaven now, put her call back and my call back. And they wanted to know, okay, which person would you like to represent us? And a lot of people put no on her. Guess what? Because she killed Selena. She did the movie with Selena, and she played the lady who killed Selena.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
How's that? A story comes around. And I became the Albertsons lady in 2000. So every actress, I'm telling you, every time I audition for something else that had light eyes, they will see me at the audition room and will hug me and say, Paloma, you changed our world in the
that's
Hispanic
awesome.
community. I know, and I've been very blessed. I cannot complain. I booked so many things that I give me the opportunity to play the Mexican grandma. Please give me the opportunity. And I've been very blessed to do that. But it's very hard. For me, it's been a challenge. And I cannot go to mainstream to play, a mainstream lady, because I have an accent. I still, I've been here all my life and I still have an accent. So it's really hard. But hey, do that stop me? No.
No, it doesn't. Because
No.
you have, first of all, for me, just being me, I can tell you that my mother's family was Cherokee and Choctaw, and on one side, they were blended, but then my dad's family was in the Middle East and then went to Germany and then over to the United States. And I went to Lebanon, which is where part of the family was from, and I have really light blue eyes, right? But people don't know this. Your Native American Indians, some of them do have light eyes, and then people that are Lebanese have light eyes. However, when you think of those different races, you don't think that. You think of dark hair, dark eyes. Do you know what I mean? But it's interesting. I have so many people, and I'll say, well, you need to look into that nationality, because actually they don't all have brown eyes. And same thing with Cuba. It's a recessive gene. It's depends how your DNA picks it up, and your epigenetics.
If I tell you my DNA, you'll be very surprised. So my father was, all mistaken. Why do I like rumba? Because, like 60% African. So yeah, sit down.
That's like my husband Clayton. He always tells people that he's Black Irish. And he actually is, but he looks very white. His great grandfather was Jamaican and half Black Irish, but he doesn't look like that, So I didn't believe him. And then they got out a scrapbook, and he actually was a sprinter in the Pac-10 in college. And sprinters are usually Black. He's extremely fast. I think he ran I forgot the number, but he's very fast. He's on television. I mean, a really good sprinter. But when you look at his DNA, he has that African, influence
Yeah.
in his DNA. So it's interesting how we're all really just a melting pot of. I always say this: we have a blueprint we come to this earth with, but it matters
Yes.
what we do with the blueprint, and how we use it. And you've obviously used yours to its fullest potential, but you have a lot more to do. So what are your plans in the
Oh,
future?
you know what? I will never retire. I never, never. I will
Never.
continue doing my auditions. I will continue doing. As a matter of fact, I just booked a short film with Jenny Lorenzo. She's the actress, a Cuban actress who does her grandma. She's very famous and all that. And I didn't have to even audition. She just called me and said, Paloma, you want to play my mom? It's only one scene. I say, of course. And when I usually get things like that, because they come direct, well, from them, but also the above. I know that. When they come direct, it's from God. They come direct because what is for you, that's when I don't see it as a competition ever. What
No,
is for you is going to
how I
be
feel.
for you, and no one is going to take it away from you.
No. I actually I tell people this all the time. You don't need to be jealous of other people because they're not
No,
you. And
yeah.
I love how you just said that it's some things just are directly to you and there's nothing, it has nothing to do with anyone else. And that's where I wish more women felt that way, because you always feel this competition. And I'm thankful to my mother for teaching us that we don't need to be jealous of anyone because there's only
No.
one of each of us. So I'm very thankful because that's been it's I'm sure you've dealt with this. Well, women have other women that sometimes get jealous of them, which there's no need for that, and it's a competition. So I always say, the issues with women in our country and of every country don't have to do with just men. Women need to support each other, and women need to give accolades and promote people that should be promoted and not be jealous because it's not them. And looking over what you've done, you've really come into a country and made a name for yourself in an area that's one of the hardest areas to be successful at. I mean, it's really hard to be a successful actress, right? And to be able to
Yes,
make
yes.
a living out of it when that's what you love. It really, really is. So it's such a gift. And I have to tell you, there's this connection between science and math and art and music. And people don't realize that, but there is. And it's because your neurotransmitters and the way that they think, most people that are actors or actresses are actually very smart. They just didn't use that talent in the area of art and science, or science and math. But I got to tell you, so I was going to be an artist. My mom was a musician, and my mom was like, you have to focus on science and your education because there's not as much money in art and music. But I still to this day do art, and I'm glad she directed me the way she did, because I think that was my purpose,
Oh
just
my
like your
goodness.
purpose is acting. I want to ask you another question. How many people do you think you've touched in your lifetime through what you've done?
Oh my goodness.
I bet no one's asked you that, because I really wanted to
No.
ask you, because I want you to think about it, because every person that watches you that finds happiness or finds a second of a reason to smile or laugh, you're touching them. And then when they share that with someone else, you're touching another person. So I really love people to think about what a great influence they've had already on this life. And hopefully that will motivate people to do even more of their gifts. Like you have this gift. I hope to see you someday live. So I need to know when you're performing, because I'd love to come watch you. And I'd love to highlight some of the stuff that you do on our stations and stuff, because it's a gift. So that's a legitimate question. How many of you touched, or do you have any idea?
I think every day I do touch people because I'm very friendly. And my daughter sometimes, things are changing. She goes, Mommy, you need to stop being so friendly and talk to everyone. And blah, blah, blah. I saw the other day a quote, they used, it was in Spanish. Not a quote, a meme, they said, my father is a true influencer because within half a block, he already said hi to 45 people. And
Yeah.
you know what? That's me. Every day I go out here, and let me tell you, now I live in an apartment building. Everyone knows me because I hug everyone. I say hi to everyone every day. they have come to me and tell me things like, they're personal things like, oh my God, that day that you smile at me, you talked to me for the first time. I was going through so much and you just brightened my day.
Yeah.
And every day, actually, I get that type of message. Paloma, you brighten my day, or dancing, or saying something funny, or putting something funny on your social media. And that makes me very happy. Very,
Well,
very happy.
it should make you happy because you're helping so many people through your spirit. I mean, I can see it even through a podcast. You can feel people's energy, and all we really are is this energy. And you're beautiful. I mean, you really are. You're beautiful, and not just because you're an actress, but because you do care about people. And I know you probably didn't have, I mean, being raised in Cuba, that's another podcast we need to have to just talk about that, because I can't even imagine what your family went through and what they had to deal with, because I don't care which side everyone was on. It was kind of a mess, and I didn't live there. I just
it's still a mess. It's still a mess. It's still a mess. Communism doesn't work, honey. It doesn't work. I don't care what people say. I love this country because I have to pray every day that my father made that decision for, to bring us here, because my brother is successful. He works with attorneys. My sister is an accountant, and she's the brain of the family. She has businesses and all that. I'm the actress. But anyway.
You're the fun one.
Yeah. And
you're the black sheep.
well, yes, but actually, I'm the one that my sister waits in every Thanksgiving and every Christmas. When are you coming? People are so bored here. You need to come.
I bet. I bet.
Yeah. Because I come in and, anyway. So, yeah, I know. I bring the happiness, I guess.
I mean, I would like you in this office dancing like that. Like, your energy's so great. My husband has energy like that, and I love it. I love people that make everyone laugh and happy, because it's such a gift.
Yeah. Well, I know. So maybe you have to be careful though, because you could be kind of annoying too. So I have learned from my children, mommy, keep it down a bit. Mommy, they always tell me, I know. But
Yeah,
that's me. And I
say,
if you're gonna like me, I like me the way I am. If not, I mean, next, I guess. I don't know.
You're such a ball of energy, and that's all we are, is energy and light. I was going to tell you, I'd love to invite you to do another podcast. We'll show this one, but I want everyone next time to talk about I want to talk about Cuba and some other things. And hopefully we sent you some gifts, because I'm trying to send stuff to everyone we're doing a podcast with. Did you get anything from me?
I sure did, because my daughter and I have been using the Clean Slate.
Good.
Maybe that's 6 months ago. And my son sometimes takes it. Niño, take the drop, muchacho. And but I got some. You take in the morning. I should have so like a vitamin or something.
Oh, it's a 0 in.
There you go, honey. You take it in the morning without food.
Great. It helps with your functioning. Are you related to Lourdes or to Isai, or no?
No, I'm not. Lourdes just loves me, and we call each other cousin. I know.
Yeah, she's really
related.
Sweet. Yeah.
And it's Actress Morales, you know what I mean? What can you tell about him? It's wonderful.
I don't know. They're both extremely nice people. But I'm going to have you back on the show. We're going to send you some more gifts.
Oh, please.
And then when I come, don't forget to like or comment on this, or we can share this for your social media if you want us to, for the podcast. And then I'm going to be in LA. I'll let you know the dates, because I would love to meet with you. You're in LA still, right?
About 20 miles from LA, West Covina.
Okay. So when I come, I would love to meet you in person. And
Me too.
If you have a show, let me know. We'll come and we'll watch, and we'll film it and put it on we're in so many countries that our audience is mostly internationally, to be honest. Like, we have more of a following in Germany and Switzerland and Austria and Dubai and places like that than even the United States. So we'll be showing you all over the globe.
I love it. Love it. Just go to YouTube and Google Paloma Morales, and I have a bunch of stuff there, but I'm not YouTube. And don't go to my channel, because I don't take care of my channel, but there's a bunch of stuff that I have there. I have done Cuban Tales, the 11 episodes. You should watch them. They're funny.
I want to watch them, and I also want to watch you dancing.
If you follow me, Dr. Ram, do not pay much attention on my Instagram. I'm a little nutty.
Well, you know what? Life is boring. So hopefully I can connect with you and not be bored, because I like laughing and I
I'm
like
sure
being
you're
happy.
not bored at all. I'm sure you're not. And we can go salsa dancing. And I'm going to take you
Oh
to
my
this
gosh, I love to
best,
salsa dance.
I'm going to take you to this best Cuban restaurant who has a live band, but it's only on the weekends. On Sundays, it's early, so I like that they Sunday. And my best friend, Chef Riedel, a Cuban young man, cooks the best Cuban food, and we're going to have the best time. I
have
don't
to tell you,
drink, though. I don't
huh?
drink. I don't
It's
drink.
okay.
Okay.
I don't drink a lot. I will drink a margarita. That's basically
Maybe.
all I
Yeah,
drink.
me too. Maybe a margarita
yeah.
and mojito, very light on drinks.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
anyway,
you're from
people think I'm
Cuba.
always drunk the way I behave.
I'm going to post on our podcast that you were drunk during this whole podcast. Hey, I learned to salsa dance, by the way. I dated a guy that was from Puerto Rico. His mom was from Puerto Rico. His dad was from Mexico. And we took salsa dancing in college and loved it. Loved it.
Aw.
So we've got to go salsa dancing together. So I dated someone that was half Puerto Rican and half Mexican, from Mexico. So Mexican and Puerto Rican.
Yeah.
And
Oh my
we took
God, what a
salsa dancing lessons together. And I used to go with him all the time. We had so much fun. And then when we broke up, that part of my life, I haven't really revisited it. And I loved it. Like I think
We're
it's
gonna
so
make-
much fun.
We're gonna make sure if you come to LA, you have that.
Okay.
They're there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. The last band, they're all Cubans. They're great musicians and great food, and we're gonna have a great time.
I'm going to invite Esai
you're
and
with me.
Lourdes too.
You froze again.
We're good. They're making me get off because I'm late for another meeting, but we'll make sure we edit it. And then we'll also do another podcast when we talk just about Cuba. And I expect to see you salsa dancing on the next podcast.
Yes.
I like
Love
how you
you.
do this. I can't do that.
I know. It's a gift. You have to be born in
It's a
Cuba.
gift. I don't have this whole thing going on. You're beautiful. You really are.
I love you. Thank you so
I
much
love
for
you too.
having me.
Have a
That was so
wonderful
much
day.
fun. Praise the Lord, you didn't ask me about chemistry and algebra. Thank you.
I can promise I'm not going to ask you.
Thank you. Love
Thank
you.
you. Love you too.
Bye,
Thank you so
Lizzie.
much.